David is a product manager for Arduino Cloud, so probably is the best person, one of the best persons to talk about the cloud. The agenda tonight is we will have a very short quiz at the very beginning, then a quick introduction about what is Arduino, next what is Arduino Cloud, and then we will go very quick through all our demos that we have. I have 2 demos for you today. And finally, this is the reason probably some of you is here. We will have a real quiz with some real prizes. So, David, you want to add something in the meantime?
No, just let me introduce myself. So I'm, as Christian said, I'm David Beamonte. I am the product manager for the Arduino Cloud. And yeah, I'm very happy to be here with Christian. Christian is one of our senior software engineers in the cloud, so he's an expert in all the technical stuff and so on. And I'm here more if you want, if you're interested in other kind of stuff, more business related or other topics. And of course to support him just in case he has anything. Y además, vivo aquí muy cerquita, vivo en Zaragoza, así que si tenéis alguna pregunta en español o no os atrevéis en inglés o lo que sea, que no creo que sea el caso, pues me podéis preguntar. So, switching back to English and the stage.
Okay. So, my first question is, some of you have already voted. What is this? Who wants to tell me what is this? And I have a nice hint here. It starts with a T and it's connected to the internet. Anyone? I have a special prize. Starts with a T, yeah. And it's connected to the internet. No? No? No question? So I would keep the prize for me. This is a pin. This was a special prize, so you're not losing much. This is a thing because this is something, a device which is connected to the internet. So it's part of the IoT. It's part of the Internet of Things. Why I'm telling you this? Because this concept of thing will come again in the future in the next slide. So we will focus on very fast on what a thing is. The important thing is this, of course, inside here we have an Arduino, but it's an Arduino connected to the internet. This makes this Arduino a thing, a part of the Internet of Things. Okay, I'm very happy that I will keep this one with me. I'm sorry for you.
You should probably ask an easier one later.
This is very easier. So what is Arduino? Since I want to be very quickly, I don't want to explain you what Arduino is. You can search on the internet. There's a Wikipedia page in Spanish. And anyone here has ever used an Arduino, ever done experiments with Arduino? Okay. Another question, is there any front-end developer here or, okay, only one? Good to know. Front-end or in general, not now, maybe in the past? No, okay. I can explain what Arduino is, something that is not written on Wikipedia. I'm working for this company since 2021, and something I realized is that Arduino is its huge community, because it's a community of makers, artists, scientists, students, school. There is a lot of knowledge around Arduino in the internet. There are blogs, there are project hubs, there are videos, documentation, everything. And part of this network of Arduino users are also businesses and professionals. Actually, we have a line of products called Arduino Pro. Something I want to add is that Arduino is on a mission to democratize advanced technology for everyone, for schools, for students, for businesses, for professionals, etc. And Arduino is famous in the world for this thing. If you ever see this, can you see it? This is the Arduino Uno, the so-called classic Arduino Uno. Why I'm saying this? Because recently we released a new board, an Arduino Uno R4, which is way more powerful than this one. This one I have in my hand, it has like 2 kilobytes of RAM, 2 kilobyte, not megabyte, not gigabyte. This one has, for example, 32 kilobytes of RAM. So it's 16 times much powerful. This one specifically has two microcontrollers on board, etc., etc. One may think that Arduino is for electronic engineer. Instead, Arduino is also for software developers like me. I'm coming from a 100% software background, and I find it very easy to work on with this kind of devices. For example, we have an IDE, which is now at version 2. It contains a compiler. You don't have to download the compiler separately. We have a CLI if you want to work from the terminal. But we have Visual Studio Code integration. There are literally tons of official and contributed libraries for anything you can imagine, like sensor, communication, light, music, low-level programming, and also recently TinyML, which is machine learning on a microcontroller. This is, I would say, one of the latest trends in this field. And recently we introduced also MicroPython, so that you can also program your boards, some of your boards, not all of them. For example, we cannot use MicroPython on this one, but we can use MicroPython on the Wi-Fi Uno R4 that I showed before, and other boards like Arduino Nano ESP32, Arduino Nano RP2040. So this is something which is, let's say, very cool now, because MicroPython is linked to Python, which is linked to ML. So the ecosystem is growing and growing. If you already developed with Arduino, I would skip this one. Anyone who's not familiar with the setup and the loop functions? Okay, so we program Arduino with a loop, a setup, and a loop function. Very easy. Okay, let's go to the topic of today, the Arduino Cloud. What is the Arduino Cloud? Arduino Cloud is a platform to build very easily IoT projects in the cloud. They can be used, this project can be used for home automation, home security, gardening, agriculture. Basically, the Arduino Cloud is a platform which can store and retrieve your data, data sent by your device. It can collect, store, and retrieve later data sent by your devices. You can get notified if something goes wrong, because there are some logic to understand if some values are, let's say, higher than a given threshold or lower than a given threshold, etc. And you can be notified through push notification on your application, mobile apps, for example. You can develop locally with a classic IDE, but you can also develop online with a web editor that you can see here. This means that you don't have to install the IDE on your local computer. You can use it from a browser. In the cloud, you can build dashboard based on your data. For example, here we have an animation with a few examples of widgets that we can add. For example, we can draw charts with the trends of our variables. For example, if the temperature is going too high, too low, we can see it on the chart. You need, and by the way, as you can see here, this is the part we're going to hack today, because we like the dashboard you can build on the cloud, but since we are developers, most of us, we want to hack this. And I will show you how to build your own dashboards using the Arduino API, Arduino Cloud APIs.
Let me just explain a little bit this. So basically, the Arduino Cloud is two things. So on the one hand, it's an online development environment. Okay, so you can create applications in a very similar way as you are doing with the traditional Arduino IDE, and it contains a cloud sketchbook. Okay, so you can have your sketches stored in the cloud. That's one thing.
Yeah.
That's the environment. And the second thing it is just what we are seeing here is a way to monitor and control what you create. They can be used together or not. You can only develop, okay, or you can just create applications. You can use both. And additionally, and I think that that's very, very important because that's what the whole talk is about. You usually identify, or people usually identify Arduino Cloud as something related to Arduino boards. Okay, so you can connect Arduino boards to whatever and you can monitor them. This is not the case. Arduino Cloud is just an IoT management platform.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can use it to monitor and control Arduino devices, but also ESP devices, or using the API and the libraries we have, you can almost connect anything. Okay, so you can use our Python libraries or JavaScript libraries or Node-RED,
Yeah.
and then you can start shedding some light on Raspberry Pi devices, for instance, or create an application based on a PC or whatever, or create an application based on a web app, for instance, that connects using the API.
Yeah, as I mentioned here, you can use even your smartphone as a source of data, yes. Because your smartphone has a gyroscope, for example, and you can send data from your gyroscope. You can send the position of your smartphone to the cloud and connect it to other things, for example, like something like this. Based on your position, for example, you can make this thing play a sound. Just to give you an example. Yes, please.
Can you use this for commercial applications?
Yes, of course.
Do you have to pay a license, or is it?
Not exactly a license. You need something more than a free Arduino account. You can build whatever you want with your free Arduino account. You have some limitations. If you want to expand, for example, the number of things you create, the number of variables you have, the number of sensors you want to monitor, probably you have to switch to let's say to paid plan. But with the free account, you can build a lot of things already. So I will invite you to have a look. This very, very quickly. Two of our customers are using this for commercial products. They are specialized in the hardware part, and they want to show something in the cloud without spending time to build their own dashboard. So they use the cloud dashboard with their own hardware. It's fine. Another one. This one is one of the biggest projects we have. A company which has thousands of devices distributed in their city, in the USA. They can monitor each one from one single dashboard. They don't have to go to the place to check if something is wrong. They can control it from home, from their office. And of course, if something goes wrong, they have to go to the site because they are monitoring vapor emissions. So something very mission critical, I would say. They are specialists in the hardware. They are not specialists in the cloud. They're not specialists in the visualization software. So they are using this one. The only difference, if you want to program for the cloud, are highlighted here. You have to include a thinkproperties.h file, which contains the definition of the variable you have defined in the cloud. Then you call Arduino Cloud.begin with some parameters. And then in the loop, you have to call Arduino Cloud.update. This function update just sync continuously with the cloud. Yes, please?
One thing, what about credentials and login and stuff like that? Is that included in the free version, or do you have to?
So the credentials are included in the things property.h, and they are generated when the first time you configure a thing. So these credentials are just yours. I want to add something else. As mentioned here, a few selected Arduino boards can also have a crypto chip on board, so you don't have to type a password. There is an exchange of certificates, so the encryption of the data are done through this crypto chip. It's even better than a regular password. But if you have a regular, let's say not Arduino board, like an ESP32, you can use some tokens, which are anyway defined inside things.properties, and the communication is based not on a certificate but based on keys.
The communications are indeed encrypted. Okay, so the communications are secure. But the difference is where are you storing the keys? So the keys are stored in the crypto chip. So if a device is hacked or whatever, nobody can just get the certificates and so on. But if you hack ESP32 device, then you eventually can get what are the credentials because you have them in the code. Okay, so that's the difference. But the communication, if they are intercepted or whatever,
Perfect.
they are completely secure end-to-end.
And what about if you want to use this in another app that you create? Do you have an API for that, or how does it work?
I'm not sure what you want to.
So you say you can use it on a smartphone, right? So I
Yeah.
guess you have
Yeah.
environment, another Arduino app.
Yeah.
Right, and you use it from your Arduino app. But if you want to use a different app that you create yourself, right? So you must have some sort of API, right?
Yeah. Okay, clear. I will show you later. I built for this demo an application on my computer, and I have to download some API keys in advance.
So you have APIs.
Yeah. If you want to use, let's say, if you want to create desktop application or even on other, basically you have to download the API keys.
You can use either the libraries we have for Python or JavaScript, or you can use the API using your own application and implementing your own solution using the API reference.
Yeah, Arduino Cloud.
You have to download the API keys as
Are they included in the free version?
The API is not included in the free version, the API access. So that's included in one of the beta plans.
Yeah. And
by the way, I just wanted to mention that, that we are having, in order to evaluate all these features, we are having regularly
promotions.
Trial and promotions and discounts and so on.
I will
just make sure that we are, at a specific point in time, we are not having a discount or we are.
Yeah. I want to highlight something here. You can see this line, humidity equals something. This is how we sync to the cloud. We don't have to explicitly make a call, HTTP call, MQTT call to the cloud. We just, through a simple assignment, we are synchronizing the variable on the board with the variable on the cloud. So it's very, very easy for developers to use this kind of technique. Okay, so quick demo. Let's see if it works. Oh, let's see if it worked. Because some of you voted. Okay, some of you voted. Apparently, we have how do you say, even a draw, because 3 of you voted for TypeScript and 3 of you voted for JavaScript. I defined this dashboard very easily, visually. Then I connected it to my thing, this one. Here, now, if you want, I can open it and show you that we have an Arduino inside. But trust me, we have an Arduino inside because I cannot open it. But we have. Do you really want me to fight with this? I can do it if you want. Yeah, I can. Fuck. You trust me? Okay. Okay, good. Okay, so here we have an Arduino Nano RP. You don't see it? I will show you later. An Arduino Nano RP2040. And some wires, of course. I created this dashboard very easily, drag and drop, and I synced my code, which is here. This is the code I have on this board, and trust me, I wrote more code. Can you see it? More code to turn the LED on and off and the sound than synchronized it with the web. The synchronization with the web is basically this one. No, let me check. This one. I cannot zoom. Tools, zoom. Can you read it, or is it too little? File, edit. It doesn't work. Command plus, edit. And increase font, decrease format, increase font size. Okay. Which strange shortcut. Anyway, okay, much better now. So basically, with a few lines of code, and again, I spend more time making it play a tone than writing the variables you see here. These 2 lines are just to send the variables to the cloud, the values to the cloud. So it's very convenient, let's say.
The variables, the point is, if you go up,
yeah.
With this hidden, with this commented at the beginning of at the very beginning. Okay. There we have those variables defined there, which are commented there, because they appear in theme properties.h.
Yeah.
Those are the variables that have been defined in the UI of the cloud.
Okay.
So you may have 50 variables in your code, okay, whatever, but only these 4 ones are going to be the ones that you're going to sync between your sketch and the cloud. So you are defining those 4 variables, and they will be the ones. And the only thing that you have to do is to assign a value. You don't have to call an utility whatever or HTTP publish or whatever. Okay? So it's just a matter of assigning them a value, and then the data is sent to the cloud, and the other way around. So if you just do a modification in the cloud over a variable, it automatically gets in the board. And a callback is called so that you know when something.
And you can see here that the value is 3. The last update is a few minutes ago. So it worked. And I'm happy it worked.
Is this running on a local network, or how do you...
over internet. That's it.
All right. And which code are you using to identify the that you're using right now?
Yeah, you can see here we have an ID of the device.
So like the MAC address, right?
Kind of. It's an ID generated on the fly when you configure it first. There's also a section here. I don't want to spend too much time on it. There's also a section to configure devices. Once you have configured your devices, and you can think the device of an Arduino board, but then you have a thing, which is an object which interacts with the real world and with your Arduino board. So the concept of thing is that the thing is something deployed in the wild, in a garden, in your house, in your basement, and it connects to the cloud through this device.
Are you using some sort of Arduino service?
Service?
Server? Is there a server, like an Arduino server? How do you...
Yeah, the cloud is a hosted service. But I'm not sure I understood your question.
I mean, is this...
The cloud is you cannot have your own instance of the cloud. The cloud is hosted in the cloud, AWS, of the functionality, and then everything that you do connects, or everything that your device do, that connects to the cloud.
Okay, so basically I showed you the physical things. Which one? This one, which is an Arduino Nano RP2030. I showed you the sketch, which is a regular Arduino sketch. It's nothing different, with some instruction related to the cloud. And also I show you the dashboard. Later I will show you also this one. You see a flower here, because it has a humidity sensor in it. And we will try to see if it works as expected. It's something very similar, so I don't want to show you. The only thing I want to show you is that this is done in MicroPython. This is the MicroPython editor. Let me zoom a little bit. More or less same instructions, but in MicroPython. So here, at a certain point, as you can see, I'm writing more code to play with the LED, the color LEDs, than synchronize with the cloud. The synchronization with the cloud is this one. Let me check. I cannot find it, but at a certain point we have where is it? Because it's so easy that you forget where it is. Anyway, somewhere here there is one single line which is responsible to sync the value in the cloud.
Yeah, the overhead using the cloud versus a traditional case is very, very, very.
Exactly.
So you need to add 3-4 lines of code and then the callbacks.
Yeah. One thing I forgot to mention, it's written here, is to avoid the delay instruction. If you use Arduino, delay is one of the basic thing you learn at the very beginning, because you want to do, for example, LED, you want to make it blink at a certain regular times. You delay. In the Arduino Cloud environment, delay is to be avoided, possibly. You can use it. It will compile, but you can use it only for a very, very short time, because otherwise the connection will drop. After a timeout of 15 seconds, I think, the connection may drop. So it's better if you don't use delay. There are other techniques like checking with the milliseconds, checking the interval, etc. So it's not a problem. Avoiding delay is not actually a problem. Now, I want to go very quickly and show you how I built a desktop application which interacts with the cloud. Disclaimer, this is not an Arduino project. It's my own project. It's a shitty application, but it's all mine. I love it. Okay, so anyone familiar with Electron here? Okay, one. Okay, so Electron is I will go very, very, very quickly, is a way to build a desktop application in JavaScript. Basically, an Electron application is like embedding a web browser in your desktop application. It's like embedding two things: a web browser, which will be responsible to show you things, and you can program these things with web technologies like CSS, HTML, etc., JavaScript, of course. And there's also a backend part, which is responsible to do, let's say, communication with the network, or you can write files on your local machine. It's not something you can do in the browser, but with like a Node.js-like environment, you can do it. And there are very nice tutorials online about this. If you want to create a desktop application today, if you want to do something very easy, you can do it. You don't have to download Visual Studio Code, Visual Studio, the original one, Microsoft, etc. Electron is cross-platform. So if you write your application for Linux, it will work on Windows, and you can build it for Windows, Linux, and Mac very easy. Now, I don't want to spend too much time. The only thing I want to mention is that the web view can communicate with the backend view, backend in the sense of your desktop application, not the cloud, through messages. So you can send messages from the view to the backend of your application. And on the backend of your application, you can use two open source libraries that we developed in the past. We are using it also in our products. One is the Arduino IoT.js, which is responsible for the MQTT part. Are you anyone not familiar with the MQTT? Okay, great. Probably. So basically, it's responsible to sending and receiving the variables itself, the values of the variables. And we have also a library which is responsible to interact via REST API to the Arduino Cloud. In this example, I will show you, I built a very, is it still turned on? Okay, let me show. I built a very basic UI with Tailwind CSS and some animation with P5, which is a JavaScript library for animation, very powerful and easy to use. And another, let's say, open source project of a random guy on the internet. So let me show you how I implemented this desktop application. Well, in the meantime, my thing reconnected to internet. So basically, now I don't want to go through all this code. The only thing I want to show you is that here we initialize somewhere at the end. We initialize the Arduino IoT Cloud like we did. The name is the same, Arduino IoT Cloud. Instead of initialize it on a board, we are initializing it in a desktop application, and then we are using to after we pass some client ID, the API key, a secret, we can then connect to the cloud and retrieve values, send and retrieve values. We do something very similar for the API. The REST API are not for sending and receiving the real values, are for asking the cloud which are, for example, the variable, which are the things you have configured, how many things you have configured, what's the name of the variables, what's, say, some metadata of your things. Then, with the previous library, you do the real exchange of data through MQTT.
We have two levels of libraries. The first one is management, and the second one is the device.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
It's like sharing schema, like
You one of the features is this one. It can do also other things, but basically you can query your things and asking which are the variables you have, and then you can use it in your code. And I will show you what with this code what I implemented actually. Nice. Question?
I was asking.
Okay. Let's see if it starts. Okay, so this is my desktop application. Again, we can use the dashboard already available on the cloud, but since we are 10 developers, we want to build our own things forever and ever because we like it, we love it, because we can do it. Probably we should not do it, but we love to do it. So let's see how I implemented the dashboard with the votes. And this is just a game. I implemented a game where you can see here the votes, 3 against 3. And if this works, you can see probably the volume is not. I implemented this as a fight. JavaScript versus TypeScript. Why? Just for fun. There are no reason to implement a dashboard this way, but just for fun. I used this library called PQ82, which is a kind of library to implement retro games in JavaScript. I found it, I want to experiment, so I did. And you can see, of course, that there is some delay, of course. You cannot implement a real game because it's not in real time. But you can see that the values are sent to the attack. Consider that we are in a basement, it's a good result, I think. And finally, the last demo. Oh, I forgot to, no, it's here. I don't know what's going on. Let's see if it's working or not. No, it's not working. Let me check the real dashboard. It's 3%. What's going on? I don't know. I was expecting to see some variation here. Just give me 1 second. What's going on? Is it even working? Oh, this is my preferred demo, which is not working today. Let me try to restart it. Let's see. My goal here, again, is to build a nice dashboard. Let's imagine, my scenario is you work in a company, you need some, the Arduino Cloud is okay for you to collect data, retrieve data, but you want to show the data in a different way, which is more, let's say, okay, it's working. It's compliant to your device. So you can build whatever you want. I decided to build exotic dashboards on purpose, just for fun. And what I can show you is that if I put some water here, probably, the humidity sensor goes up to 100%. Let's see the actual value. Yeah, 75, not bad. Let's do a little bit more. Anyway, I bought this flower like 1 hour ago, and I asked one with dry soil. They didn't have one. So my demo was ruined by they just put the water, they just watered the flowers. So my goal was to show something from 0 to 100. Instead, I had to start from 50%. Anyway, this is what you can build with Arduino Cloud, first, and second, Arduino Cloud APIs. And this is basically what I wanted to show you. There are a lot of examples of something similar. For example, from using API, you can build a spreadsheet. You can build a spreadsheet every night that is sent to some customer, for example. You can do whatever you want in a very easy way. And I think this should be it. Okay, if you want, if you can go to this page, you have 1 month discount for the Maker Plan using this this voucher. Just one thing, the note I added here, you have to add your credit card. You will not be charged the first month, but starting from the second month, you will be charged. So if you're not happy, you can go back to the free plan whenever you want. Okay? Picture taken? Okay. You want to add something?
No, I just
okay.
Thank you, because it was very comprehensive.
No, it's, just if you have 5 more minutes, I hope you should have this. These are reference. I will share the screen, but if you have questions, just one picture. Okay.
I think that everybody here is programmer, or at least I think that everybody has a good understanding of what was going on. But basically, what we saw is we have an application that was running on his PC, implemented the front end and so on, and it was communicating under the hood with the cloud using the API. So that's why we were seeing at the same time the dashboard in the cloud and the front end that Christian had programmed, and all of that was communicating with the physical product that was there, which was connected to the cloud. So we were observing a full application from the hardware to the front end to the API communication and so on.
Yeah.
So what is this Maker Plan? Sorry, no.
The Maker. Okay.
Yeah. There are 4 plans. Okay, so we have, well, in fact, there are for individuals, what we call for individuals, for makers. Okay, we have 4 plans: the free plan, and then we have the entry, maker, and maker plus plans. So depending on the amount of things that you want to use, if you want to use over-the updates or APIs or triggers or share your dashboards or whatever, then you have different plans.
Yeah, and
if you're an enterprise,
which is a commercial one?
All of them are. I mean, you mean for creating commercial applications?
Yeah.
All of them can be used for commercial applications, but for enterprises, our recommendation, and you can probably go up, you have there for individuals, for business, for school. So for business, this provides you with a new set of features. So for instance, you can have workspaces. Workspaces means that you can work with other colleagues on the same project. Okay, you can have RBAC, role-based access control. So you can control what's the visibility of certain resources between your colleagues.
You can customize your logo.
You can customize your logo.
Very important feature.
So, that's the difference between the business and the maker kind of programs, but all of them share the same infrastructure.
Do you have any companies, examples of companies using it for business?
Yeah,
I showed you.
for
For
instance,
example,
the one that Christian showed was from a US company called AMD Vapor. Okay, they are just creating this kind of.
if you, I don't have the link now. If you go the streaming for the Arduino Days 2024, there are these engineers showing the hardware, how they use it, and showing this exactly this dashboard. So if you look for Arduino Days 2024, there was 3 sessions. If you look for the Pro session, you will find this video. Yeah, basically that's
you can
it.
probably open the Arduino.cc website. The Arduino.cc website is organized
Okay.
in 3. Well, you have there this professional section there, and there you may get a lot of information about use cases, about features, about everything you want to learn about the professional use cases. Most of the professionals get started probably in makers, okay, so that's why they jump to a professional plan and so on. But
yeah, I would say that the maker plan is good to get started. And something, if you want to use APIs, you can just start from, where is it?
From the entry plan.
From the entry plan, which is
it's just
2 euros.
It's 2 euros per month.
This one. So you can use APIs with 2 euros per month. You have 10 things, means 10 this, with unlimited dashboard, unlimited, etc. 15 days of data retention. Other questions? Otherwise, I have other quiz.
If the device has Wi-Fi, okay, so that's the minimum requirement. So if the device can,
I have some stackables, not Wi-Fi, but Ethernet.
with Ethernet, maybe some of the devices are not going to work.
Or I'm more. So my question goes more for what's the memory consumption in ROM?
The footprint.
I don't know at the moment. You have to do some experiments. And of course, you can use a board which is not supporting Wi-Fi, but you can connect a Wi-Fi module if you want it.
The footprint of the library depends on the kind of device. The library is not exactly the same size, so it's not a very straightforward. And apart from Arduino devices, you may use any ESP kind of device, and you can even use Arduino clones or any other kind of thing. Everything that can be used can be programmed using the Arduino IDE and has connectivity can be verified.
That's it. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for coming. It was really a pleasure for me. I will stay in Barcelona. Of course, you know that we have a free drink now. For the 2 guests who came later, you should, okay, you're okay. We have a free drink now, and let's chat later.